Today I want to take a look at the past. Let's go back and look at some older MOCs, stuff that was made like, 10 years ago, and stuff that's even older than that. Because hey, looking back at the past can actually teach us a lot about the present. And I tell you what, some of these creations, man, they still hold up today. And I think they use techniques and designs that, they inspire me just looking at them. So I'm sure they're going to inspire you as well. Let's check them out. The first creation we have today is by Patrick Biggs, and it's called Valand Dragon. I loved this as a kid, I still love this today. You're seeing now the original version of this MOC. This was posted on Flickr back in 2008. But there is an updated version of this with some changes and some better photography, and this was posted in 2010. I love both versions, but let's discuss this updated look, and I'll tell you why I love this thing. First off, check out these wings. Patrick has used the wing pieces that came from this old Ninja set. Not Ninjago, it's Ninja. It's kind of a theme that gets a bit forgotten because I think Ninjago kind of overshadows it a bit, but there were some awesome minifigures and some really awesome pieces in these sets. But yeah, these kind of vinyl pieces, spamming them all over this wing frame. That's a good look. And hey, there's no reason you can't take any of the vinyl or cloth pieces that come on any of the modern Ninjago Dragon sets and build something very similar. You could just use the one cloth piece, you could spam 50 of them onto a really big wing design on a massive dragon that you want to make. If it worked back then, it's gonna work today. I adore the S-curve of this neck, it looks magnificent. And the way that Patrick has just seamlessly integrated in scales. He's done so by strapping in a bunch of 1x4 red system tile pieces. It's stunning. This is one of those early examples of combining system and Bionicle pieces, and I love it so much. This was one of those creations I remember looking at as a kid and being like, you can do that? You can combine those two things together? I thought you couldn't do that. This MOC changed the way I think. The torso uses a lot of Bionicle G1 pieces. I'm sure if Patrick were to make this today, he'd use a lot more modern pieces to get the same kind of look. But you know what? As I look at this, it's reminding me we're kind of seeing a bit of a resurgence of G1 pieces being used in builds. I saw a bunch at Brick Fair, I'm seeing a bunch online right now. It's great. G1 pieces are really helpful. Yeah, a lot of people like to use your CCBS, your modern pieces, but old stuff is good, man. One piece that immediately stands out here is the repeated use of the Borok body elements. It's kind of the main piece that makes up the torso of all of the Borok. Got a bunch of them here on the torso. So hey, if you want to make something like this, maybe you could start off with that exact piece and just branch off a bunch of pieces until you got yourself a beautiful looking dragon. This may be one of Patrick's oldest MOCs, and he certainly has a lot of modern, really impressive, really innovative stuff that he's putting online today. But there's something about a good classic, man. I love it. It's cool. It's pretty cool. No way a MOC can look this good. But here it is. Shadrach has built our next MOC. It's called Certavus. This MOC was posted online back in 2009. I quite like this shield weapon. The classic snowflake piece, but then just strapping a blaster on the front. Isn't that like a rad idea? A weapon that offers both offense and defense capabilities? That's cool. I rather like these trans-light blue highlights everywhere. Of course, we see them on Gelu's mask and all of these different snowflake pieces. But partnering those pieces with the weapons that came on Nuju Hordika, that's a good fit. There's a surprisingly large amount of white and trans-light blue parts, and you can just easily blend those pieces together and make something that looks really good. Maybe you could take advantage of that next time you build. And finally, I like this torso design. See how the edges there are using those white Borok arm pieces? These, of course, are the ones that came on some of the Borok Kull. But using them to armor up the sides of the torso, that's nice. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Older pieces being put to good use back in the day. I don't know, you just don't see people playing with those Borok arm pieces as much these days. But look at the great things that they can accomplish. It's one of those pieces that time forgot, but hey, you don't have to forget about it. Put it to good use and start playing with it. Muffin Toa has built Joe, Enforcer of Temperance. This was posted back in 2007. Look man, classic gold. The newer pearl gold, it's a lovely color, but there's something so regal, so aged, and so elegant about a good classic color like this. And Muffin Toa has merged the gold Nuva shoulder armor pieces that came on Takanuva, as well as the mask and the upper leg armor that came on Iruni. And then on top of that, we have the leg and the shoulder armor that came on the Knights Kingdom set Raskus. When you put all that together, it's one stunning design. Blending Knights Kingdom pieces and Bionicle parts it's always been a match made in heaven. And I think the design of that Knights Kingdom armor actually pairs perfectly with Iruni's mask. It's a good fit. I'm gonna butcher this name. Joho Williams Turianen is our next builder, and this mock is called Tyom. And images of this mock were posted all the way back in 2009. Now we've got even more examples of using classic pieces in very creative ways. Like using the Visorak body piece and turning it into this thundering, huge, spider-like leg design. Dope. And then adding Onwa's torso and using it to build really beefy lower arms. How good's that? It's also just nice to see so much brown being used, because brown sort of stopped being as common towards the end of Bionicle. And then in Bionicle G3, I think you saw it in pockets here and there, but it, again, wasn't that common. It was still around, it was still being used, it was certainly very common in system sets. But look, seeing so much in one place, it's delightful. Cameron is up next, and they have a mock that dates all the way back to 2008. It's called Shogun. Old purple and old dark grey. Pretty, pretty, pretty. These shoulders are also quite pretty. 2 silver Takanuva masks, strapped onto both sides, makes for some great shoulder pads. And then the translucent heads-up display piece, placed upside down onto a head. I like that. It's simplistic, but, it just works. Elegance in simplicity, man. That's certainly something I think you saw back in the day. Oh, and then hook pieces upside down so that the hook is facing upward, using that as a foot. Brilliant. This is such a creative mock, and Cameron, he was doing this amazing stuff all the way back then, in 2008. No way. This dude was ahead of his time. One of the best, I tell you. And finally, fresh from 2009, Zenflow gives us Malmar Mark II. Look at that. A Kakama smack bang on the center of the torso. Using Pahatu's mask for armor, it's a good idea. And then you got Wenawa's mask for leg armor. And the upper legs here, they use some Rakshi headpieces. And if you look closely, you can see another headpiece of a Rakshi tucked into the torso design. I mean, mate. Masks, of course, are going to work well for faces. That's what they were designed to do. But they look even better when you use them elsewhere. And this mock is a shining example of that. And these feet are also very fun. Using some curved Technic lift arms. It creates a very unique look. This is great. Now, see, just because a mock is old doesn't mean that you can't learn stuff from it. Hopefully taking a deep dive into the past gave you some ideas, techniques, and inspiration that can help you out today. So get building. Use what you learned in this episode and let it fuel you. If you enjoyed the mocks that I showcased today, I'll have links in the description to all of these builders' social media. Go ahead and check their stuff out. You'll love what you see. Also in the description below and on your screen right now is the submission email. If you'd like to submit your mocks to the Bionicle Inspiration series with a chance to be featured, send me an email to that email address and I'll do my best to feature you in a future episode. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you so much. Happy building, and bye for now.